Okay, y'all, a quick story time. Very convenient that I'm glammed up while giving this story time, honey. Just got finished with an interview, y'all. But yeah, oh God, I can't believe I'm telling this story. It was back in my whole days. I was in my darn going. I just turned 20, and I got hit up by this darn on fine brown skin, got light brown cinnamon complexion, muscle. I was a real stickler for muscle. I'm a little bit relaxed on it now, especially as far as relationship is concerned. It's like my guy can be plus size, he can have a bird chest as long as you can make me laugh. You're able to console me. Damn, gnats, what the hell? Clap on, clap on. But anyways, yeah, I'm a lot more laissez-faire when it comes to the requirements as far as relationship. But I still like a guy that has a good body, because y'all know I exercise and whatnot, and it's like, if I'm bringing it, honey, you better be bringing it too. So yeah, that's where I stand on that today. But back then, honey, it was muscles all day long to the front of the line, and he had the abs, the body, and everything. But motherfucker, we had car. I was like, looking back now, I was like, how the hell did we get here? But he was fine or whatnot. We couldn't go back to his place. We damn sure couldn't go to mine. Because this was before I got my house. I got my house couple months down the road. But at the time, I was staying with my aunt. So yeah, that wasn't about to happen. And I was in the living room on the doggone blow up mattress. So yeah, definitely was not about to happen at my doggone place, which was technically my aunt's place at the time. So we ended up getting in at the car, but we could not find a decent location to doggone hook up. So how about this mug originally doggone had us in like a wooded area in the trailer park, and why was all the freaks coming out at night with us, honey, and doggone trying to come, because his car stood out. I can't think of what it was. It wasn't even an elaborate car, but because everybody else had like 1990 Pintos and he had like a Dodge like car or whatnots that was like a modern year or whatnots, it made doggone other folks just enticed. It was like a moth to a flame, or like these doggone next to this doggone ring light. I got the ring light, I got the ring light. Hey. But anyways, honey, everybody was coming up to the doggone car. I was like, Lord knows, why does this shit always happen to me? I doggone try to fuck a guy in the car. Here's somebody want to be nosy and try to doggone see DivaWuan in action. I told y'all about the second ever hookup I got with. Was another white boy. My first two people that doggone blew the cherry was white, and this one was welling down. And I couldn't take it all or whatnot, so we had to just switch over to, and it was in a car in the behind of, at the back of the doggone store. Thank God the windows was tinted. His was not doggone tinted like that. Like, he had a super light tint. So we definitely had to be secluded, and thank goodness it was pitch night. So he pulls up at this doggone construction site, and we finally doggone getting ready to do the do, honey. So, I'm doggone working my magic and whatnots, honey. Honey, the doggone is at full attention. And just as I was getting ready to doggone jump on it, because at this time, I don't work my way up to doggone being able to receive a large dick at this point. Because my first ever person was just 5 inches. So it wasn't hardly nothing at all, because my ass was super, my ass always been fat, honey, except for the time that I was dealing with the cancer or whatnots. But I quickly got my ass back, and old boy wasn't really doing it. Even when my ass was flat, it wasn't going but so far in. The 8-inch one doggone, he doggone stretched it out a little bit. And then by the time I got to the doggone 10-inch dick nigga, honey, the one that doggone was the army guy that doggone knew how to caress me just right, and it just... So that's when I was able to finally start receiving up to 10 inches or whatnots. But I wasn't getting it on the regular, so I was still extremely tight or whatnot. So it had to be a lot of prep work to doggone get me ready. So I was darn going, looking at Davy Ravy because he was the #1 go-to at the time on YouTube for these types of advices. Honey, shout out to Davy Wavy, honey. He might have been as white as darn going. Matter of fact, not even my hand. He was white as this, honey. But, honey, he got all of us right in regards to what we needed to as far as prep work and all of that. So, honey, shout out to Davy Wavy, honey. I don't know. He got his own site now, but I don't know who's paying $50 for that. HimRoseTV.com or whatnot, where it's more so passionate and ooh and ah. It's like, just give me the rough banging type of shit. Like, that goes to show the cultural differences. It's like, bitch, I darn pay that whatever price it is for Breed It Raw before I pay it for this shit. Hell no, honey. And matter of fact, I'd rather pay it directly to the darn going, because knowing the background with how adult entertainers don't really see all their funds like that through companies, I'd rather pay it directly to them. So I support them through the OnlyFans, their own websites, purchasing their products, etc. Also spreading the word with, giving out reviews and everything else. Like, that's how I support the girls or whatnot. Especially if I'm pirating some of their content, the least I can do is darn gonna support if they have some side gigs going on, whether it be music, whether they got their own dildo, or etc. But with this guy, honey, I'm darn gonna getting ready to jump on it. We at this darn gonna construction site in the middle of the darn gonna night, and just as I get ready to jump on the dick, honey, I said, what? Honey, when I tell you, honey, I was like, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. Honey, I was in that damn car moving like the damn Matrix, honey. I seen them lights, flashing lights. Honey, this was before Beyonce even came out with darn going on Drunken Love. And a fun backstory with Drunken Love. For y'all that don't know, Beyonce, you my girl, honey. But you got that song from Kiara Lachey. You got that song because y'all know I worked out to Kiara Lachey. I've been fucking with Kiara Lachey for over 10 years, along with doggone Tiffany Ruff workouts. Honey, Kiara Lachey did music on the side, and she had this doggone song called Drunk Love. Drunken love, drunk love. Like, she had the melody and everything. Future somehow had like the lyrics and whatnot and the other beat, and Beyonce just combined them together. And honey, that's when we got Drunken Love and all of that, and it pissed me off because I was like, honey, I hope Kiara Lachey got paid. She didn't never say nothing about that. But we knew, the ones who fucks with Kiara Lachey. Now, I was already irritated with Beyonce because I was like, I hope our queen, you darn going, while you put her on a non-disclosure, you helped her out with her spa business. I mean, not her spa business, but her fitness business or whatnot. And I think she did, because next thing we knew, Kiara Lachey had her own thing going on. She was working with Daily Byrne at the time. And next thing we knew, Kiara Lachey had her own darn stuff in the works. So, honey, I'm assuming Beyonce and them darn blessed her on the back end with the non-disclosure. But for us that really knew, we knew that darn that song was darn Kiara Lachey's first. And darn Future Day came in with his darn little lyrics and stuff. And Beyonce rearranged the melodies and stuff to align with her. But yeah, honey, when I tell you I was moving like goddamn Wonder Woman, honey, in that the Matrix, honey, I moved so goddamn fast, but smooth at the same time. And thank goodness, the only thing we met with him, his pants was just down, so he was able to just get his underwear and pants up or whatnot. We ain't even get to yank no darn on shirt off, because I don't think he would have been able to move as fast as me, honey. So, honey, how about he darn line and whatnot, talking about, it was something, he talked about, the auntie was tripping at the house and that we just came out here to chill real quick until she calmed down or whatnot. And now he trying to phrase this shit as if I'm the cousin. Now, bitch, with my features and whatnot, it's like, I typically don't look like most black people that's next to me because of the fact that, you know, my nose is super thin. I got these pronounced high cheekbones. And you look like the regular fine, you know, around the way doggone nigga, honey. You got that beautiful doggone wide nose. Another doggone thing. And I know I shouldn't fetishize men like this, but, you know, a super pronounced nose, like flared nostrils and stuff, is what turns it, like what gets me turned on a guy. Like what most people hate as far as other biggest black men, I actually love it on them. Like, so a wide nose, super full lips, you know, kinky doggone, sporting your 4B, 4C texture hair. I love all that on a doggone man. And then, honey, ooh, chocolatey, caramel, honey, butterscotch, honey. As long as the skin is nice and even and whatnot, that would tickle my fancy. Even long before I became an esthetician. So, yeah, and it's like, cop looking like, oh. And then the cop doggone, it was a male cop too, honey. The cop doggone low-key peep game. It was like, so she's the in-law or whatnot. Because even back then, they doggone just referenced me as the doggone, the she, even back then, honey. Even when I wasn't identifying the she. So he looked at me like, oh, so she's the girlfriend or whatnot. So I guess the auntie wasn't feeling the girlfriend. So, honey, he doggone still trying to play this cousin narrative. I done a low-key did one of these numbers. I was like, yeah, that's what it is. Honey, see, he was going to get us fucked up. Doggone trying to continue with this doggone I'm your cousin doggone type narrative or whatnot. Number one, the cop can doggone see the bulge in the pants. Because, honey, how about this mother? I done had him so turned on just off the head game alone, right? The doggone dick is just steady doggone doing the bounce, bounce, bounce. Honey, the dick is still doing the bounce while the cop is right there. Oh, I'm like, oh, God, please don't tell me we going to jail. Because he's doggone calling me female now. But I'm telling you, as soon as he see this goddamn ID, and as soon as I get out the car and whatnot, honey, they're going to put me in the mail. Because this was back under, let me see. Who was in office at the time? This was Roy Cooper's term in office. I was like, oh, hell. Because they just got out. Beverly Perdue just got out of that office at the time. We was under darn oh boy, honey. Roy Cooper. I mean, not Roy Cooper, but the other one that tried to pass the darn bathroom bill or whatnot. I just said his name. It done lost me just that darn quick. But yeah, we was under his government ship in here in North Carolina. I was like, bitch, they about to darn put me in the damn mail jail, child. I was like, Fortunately, he darn let us go with a warning and whatnot. So told us that this was private property. We done somehow tripped the private alarm or whatnot. And he was letting us go with a friendly warning. Now, the whole time, this mud darn just darn trying to hold his composure. Now, he couldn't get us on no indecent exposure. Because, like I said, I was Wonder Woman with the shit, honey. I darn had my top and stuff back on so fast before he got up to that car. Because the thing is, with his car, his darn back windows were more, because it was a sedan type car, and in the state of North Carolina, your front windows, if you're not driving a crossover vehicle, has to be like a 35% tint, but the back windows get to be darker. So that was our only saving grace, that the cop couldn't darn see through the back window, and by the time he got to the front window that was partially viewable, honey, DivaWuan had to close on, child. But like I said, old dude was about to get us darn thrown in the pokey, honey. Because the whole time, Dick just darn doing jumping jacks in the goddamn pants and whatnot. Now, you would have thought that would have scared us to not do nothing. How about we pull like 2 miles down the damn street in a secluded area and still got it in, honey. For a good old hour, honey. Got it in, did all sorts of tricks and everything else for a good hour. And I think that was like next to one of the last times that I actually did. Because I didn't do too many car hookups. Honey, DivaWuan got bougie real quick. I was like, honey, I'm not for this doggone exhibitionist type life. I don't know how these girls do it nowadays. These girls don't mind doing it. Like, if y'all see my Twitter, Honey, there was one nigga that was just doggone jacking off in the doggone hallway. Old woman came around the corner. She was just doggone smitten by the whole thing. Showed her doggone a grandniece the situation. He's still getting it. Y'all just ain't got no coof. Y'all literally, I remember back in the day when y'all exhibitionists would do stuff in the stores. Y'all wouldn't even try to get caught or nothing. Y'all would try to hide y'allselves if somebody was coming around the corner. Now y'all just don't give a fuck. And that's a whole video within itself. It's like, well, damn. What about doggone the possibility of certain folks that are not of age? And granted, even the ones who are of age, you know, they still didn't consent to doggone see that type of doggone show. It's like, just no respect at all. But see, the days when I was doggone on my semi-exhibitionist, honey, I was at least doggone making sure it was doggone pitch black. Y'all know DivaWuan blend in with the nighttime, honey. Windows are doggone properly tinted. Honey, it ain't nobody around, no areas where no youngins can doggone possibly come up or nothing. So, yeah. But, yeah, that was one of my very few car experiences. I only had like 4 or 5 car experiences. And honey, DivaWuan traded that in for going straight to the house or the hotel, honey. And then eventually, you know, niggas who really earned the trust managed to come to my place. Once again, those are very few. So with that being said, that is the story time of me almost getting doggone arrested for doggone giving a doggone dude head and almost about the doggone, which he did get the back door, but he didn't get it at that moment, thank goodness, because like I said, I don't think I would have been able to jump off the D like that so fast or whatnot. But hell, low-key, the way the doggone officer was doggone look, honey, I think the officer in question was a low-key doggone freak, honey. I don't know what it is with DivaWuan attracting the freaky officers, because I did a poll where I told y'all to choose which one y'all wanted to get, and y'all got this story time instead. But there was even a time back when I was 16 where there was an officer that wanted to try to get with your girl even back then. And then, like I said, one of my very first encounters early on in my sex life was hooking up with a police captain that was also a martial artist. So it's like DivaWuan just attracts all the members of law enforcement or whatnot. And like I said, the way that he was just looking at old dudes doggone dick just doing a bounce in the pants or whatnot, I was like, honey, this motherfucker's a low-key freak. He probably would have doggone joined in on the doggone session, because I know damn well, because it's like I didn't have on nail stitch or makeup. Now, granted, I was shaving and whatnot. But and I did have hair at the time. My hair was like 12 inches long at the time. It was blown out. So it was like, okay, I understand the feminist look to a certain extent, but it's like, bitch, you look at me hard enough back then. It's like you knew what it gave. But I was glad that he still respected me as ma'am, even when I wasn't identifying as ma'am. But I was like, honey, he wanted to low-key join in on this shit. Once again, another potential threesome situation. Honey, I've had so many opportunities to engage in threesomes, even going back to high school, where I've had a couple of doggone borderline threesome encounters. And I've never, to this day, I've done a lot of things. DivaWuan can say she's blessed to do a lot of things, but I have never actually doggone did a threesome. I would have been tempted to doggone do one, but it's never doggone presented itself. Even recently, I was well, not recently, it was about 2 years ago, where I was approached by a polyamorous couple on a threesome type of situation, and it was tempting, but I still didn't bring myself to it. But anyways, y'all, that is the story time of the week. Y'all give me y'all thoughts on this situation. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah.